386,000 jobs. That's the number of people who once relied on Las Vegas's service industry, a $90 billion ecosystem once considered the never-sleeping engine of Nevada's economy. However, after just one night, a number equal to the entire population of Tampa, Florida is facing the risk of being wiped out. Not because of the pandemic, not because of war, but because of cold decisions made around the boardroom tables of casino corporations. No noisy news, no press conferences, not a single word of apology. Only the pink slips sent out at midnight, ending the decades of service of the people who once made this city a miracle. Caesars calls it a restructuring. MGM called it streamlining personnel. But for thousands of Nevadans, it was just a euphemism for a silent purge. The dealers, bartenders, and receptionists who once made tourists feel welcome are now lining up at job centers or sleeping in their cars along I-15. A city that was once a symbol of opportunity has now become a testament to the ruthlessness of the age of automation and soulless profit. In today's video, we'll delve into that silent purge to understand why Las Vegas, a symbol of hope and opportunity, is becoming the most painful evidence of the American dream's collapse. The lights on the Las Vegas Strip are still as bright as if there had never been a night. But beneath that glamorous facade, cracks are beginning to show. And the first collapse began with the very legend named Caesars. Just a few years ago, Caesars was still an icon of the American Dream Arena, a place where tourists flocked to try their luck, and where workers believed that hard work could lead to a stable life. However, the $12.3 billion debt figure, equivalent to the lifetime earnings of approximately 4,000 American families, turned that trust into a burden. It's not just a financial debt, but a symbol of a period of extravagance where expansionist ambitions exceeded sustainable limits. According to data from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, LVCVA, the past 9 months have been the most difficult period for the city. Customer numbers declined steadily each month, leading to a sharp drop in revenue for major businesses, with Caesars being the hardest hit. In the second quarter of 2025 alone, revenue in Las Vegas decreased by 3.7% compared to the same period last year, and the occupancy rate dropped by 2 percentage points, equivalent to 27,000 empty room nights in just 3 months. With a vast ecosystem, that number translates to tens of millions of dollars evaporating. The hardest blow came when Caesars was removed from the S&P 500 index, the honor roll of the American economy, because it no longer met the standards for revenue, profitability, and financial stability. With a debt burden of over $12 billion, Caesars is no longer an invincible empire, but has become a testament to a system that is crumbling from within. To improve liquidity, Caesars began selling assets, the very symbols that had made their name. World Series of Poker, the Link Promenade. Each name transferred is like a piece of memory traded for short-term cash flow. But that's just treating the symptoms. The root of the crisis lies in the fact that tourist trust is leaving Vegas. Facing that Vegas boycott, it wasn't just giant corporations like Caesars that took a hit. The people who directly operate the Vegas dream, from servers, chefs, technicians, to night shift security guards, are the ones who feel the earthquake spreading the most. According to 8 News Now, Las Vegas, there are approximately 72,000 people in Nevada who are unemployed, and the majority of them are from Las Vegas, a city that relies on tourism. In that whirlwind, thousands of Caesars employees couldn't stand by as the empire that was once their pride lost its former position. And so, 50,000 people, a number equivalent to the entire population of Santa Fe, New Mexico, are at risk of disappearing from the job map. This is no longer a warning. It has become a reality elsewhere in the valley. The Poker Palace in North Las Vegas, a casino establishment with over 50 years of operation and 25,000 square feet of floor space, officially closed at the end of the fall season. The consequences were that dozens of middle managers had to suspend their transfers, and 126 employees were completely laid off, each carrying the burden of providing for their families. The numbers on economic reports are therefore no longer cold data. They turned into cut work hours, late rent payments, and small dreams put on hold indefinitely. When the hands that once lit up Vegas were removed from the schedule, the social crack was no longer a prediction. It was right before our eyes. On the front lines of that storm are the silent dealers, chamber staff, technicians, security guards, the machines that have helped run Vegas' glamorous spin for decades. But when the shift table shrank, they were the first to be sidelined. And when the backbone of the service is broken, the domino effect spreads everywhere. Small shops, kindergartens, cheap clinics, community churches, places that used to live on workers' spending, start to appear cracks. The once seemingly eternal cycle of prosperity suddenly stopped, revealing gaps in Vegas' soul. Vegas is still bright, but that light is shining on an unbalanced city, where the people who once created the aura were the first to be left behind. Can a city continue to shine as the people who once lit it are gradually forgotten? And if that light only shines on the gaps, what is the real thing that keeps Vegas and the whole of America standing? After Caesars, now it's MGM's turn, the giant once considered heartbeat of the Strip, to feel the pressure of the wave of collapse spreading throughout Las Vegas. The light in the hall was still bright, the music still rang out every night, but inside those luxurious walls, a silent tremor had begun. According to Cover.com, MGM's net revenue in Las Vegas in the second quarter of 2025 decreased by about 4% over the same period last year. It may sound small, but for a corporation with revenue of nearly $2 billion per quarter, that reduction equates to $80 million evaporating in just 3 months, enough to pay more than 1,000 mid-level employees over the course of a year. The room occupancy rate at MGM Grand decreased by nearly 4 percentage points, while table game hold's actual profit from casino was lower than expected. Cumulatively, adjusted EBITDA profits in Las Vegas fell nearly 9%, equivalent to $100 million being swept away in the desert heat. For MGM, it's not just the numbers on the report. This is a sign of a precarious system where the huge dependence on international visitors, especially from Canada and Asia, makes even a small fluctuation enough to slow down the entire group's rotation. When the CND is weak, when tourists tighten spending, each empty seat in the middle of the week becomes a hole in Vegas's financial picture. Many visitors admit that it is the fees that have caused them to lose trust. As total spending increased faster than the return value, the budget group that was the mainstay of hotels like Luxor or Excalibur began to withdraw. A Vegas trip, which was a weekend dream, has now become a calculation that makes them falter. They choose to stay at home or go to cheaper places. And so, the lights on the floor were still on, but the table was thinning. The luxury suite quietly closed down like empty houses in the Nevada desert. While Caesars was a warning, MGM was a testament. Stimulus campaigns like Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas, with discounts, dining credits, or sightseeing tickets, cannot salvage the lost sense of value for money. Because the issue isn't about discounts, but about the belief that the displayed price is the real price, and the experience received is worth every penny spent. Then the strongest blow came. Approximately 800 mid-level managers at MGM resorts in Las Vegas were laid off in just 1 week, according to local channels. The reason is gently called restructuring. But for those who lost their jobs, it was a real collapse. Departments were merged, and supervisory, management, and senior management positions were forced to compete for the same spots. This is no longer a story of seasonal workers. The operational buffer, the middle layer connecting management and employees, is being dangerously thinned. The local community reacted strongly. Although they rejoiced at the fracturing of corporations, they sympathized with the fate of the workers. That anxiety isn't just for those who were laid off, but for the entire industry. Because when the most stable layer is shaken, how much safety is left for the frontline workers, those who live on tips, hours, and a fragile belief in the future to hold on to? Each decision to streamline personnel is not just a number on a payroll. It's an unpaid mortgage, an upcoming tuition payment, a plan to care for elderly parents indefinitely postponed. And that's the real price. Because when middle managers, the disciplinarians, shift coordinators, and problem solvers are lost, the resilience of the entire service system is noticeably reduced. From then on, customer experience thinned out, trust wavered, and the downward spiral deepened further. History seems to be repeating itself. In 2020, MGM cut 18,000 jobs after the pandemic. Many people are still haunted by the cycle of layoff, rehire, then lay off again. And this time, as the tourism axis shifts and international visitors haven't fully returned, they wonder, is this just a short-term adjustment, or is a new domino effect quietly beginning? Las Vegas is still lit up, but behind the stands, those who once lit up those lights are leaving, quietly and without a date to return. If even the most stable levels are shaking, where will those below hold on to stay steady? And in a city that lives on dreams, what happens when the very people who create those dreams begin to lose faith in them? The shock didn't come from a thunderclap, but from the numbers quietly appearing in the August report. The Las Vegas metropolitan area lost 4,300 jobs, a decrease of 0.4% compared to the previous month. These numbers are not an advertisement for decline, but a whisper of an unavoidable crisis. In the eyes of many, 4,300 might be just a statistic, but for workers, it represents empty apartments, late rent payments, and dreams for tomorrow indefinitely postponed. As the tourism industry, the economic backbone of Las Vegas, contracted, many restaurants reduced their hours, hotels cut night staff, and casino floors closed some gaming tables. Those who were once the central cogs in the entertainment machine have suddenly become superfluous. A longtime server on the Strip said, "The other day I was told I'd lose hours, and then I lost my entire shift." Savings are dwindling while bills keep coming in. Those sighs are not uncommon. The labor community is beginning to see cracks not only in employment, but in their very identity. Being proud of their role in Las Vegas, now erased as if they never existed. On the other hand, small businesses around the tourist area are starting to struggle. Restaurants, laundry services, ticket sales for shows, all of which once relied on a steady stream of customers, are now having to downsize, merge, or close. The chain reaction spreads. Workers are laid off, consumption decreases, and more businesses fail. Vegas is entering a downward spiral, not just for the casino industry, but for an entire city built on tourism, entertainment, nightlife, and bright lights. Job losses do not discriminate based on age, experience, or position. Even middle-aged employees who once believed that once you've carried the load for a long time, you won't be left behind, were standing outside the recruitment office, holding their resumes for less desirable positions. Young people, who had hoped to build a future with Vegas, now feel insecure, a step or two behind in their career trajectory. In a city that was once a symbol of never sleeping, we now hear silence. Casino rows are empty, hotel room blocks are closed, and side streets near the Strip are deserted. Las Vegas didn't just lose jobs, it lost its breath. If 4,300 livelihoods can be wiped out in just a month, who's to say faith in Vegas and the American dream won't be wiped out too? Casinos are not just about games. They are the starting point in a supply chain, from sanitation, laundry, and food distribution to maintenance, pattern design, and landscaping teams. When a casino shrinks, the entire chain of nearby suppliers loses orders. According to the American Gaming Association, the casino and related services industry supports approximately 1.8 million jobs and generated $328.6 billion in economic activity in 2023. When Nevada lost its job, that ripple system also shook. The first effect spread to local businesses, coffee shops, souvenir stores, shoe repair shops, shuttle services. All of them once relied on the flow of casino customers. When casinos close some tables or cut their opening hours, the number of customers decreases and their revenue drops accordingly. Many stores had to close, and retail workers also lost their jobs. The seemingly marginal jobs, with little impact and attention, turned out to be the thin software connecting the spotlight and everyday life. The ripple effect spread outward. The food and beverage industry, hotels off the strip, transportation, and small entertainment venues all began to be affected. In a place where casinos were once an economic mainstay, small tourism complexes are now closing earlier, reducing work shifts, or disappearing altogether. When workers lose income, they cut back on spending, eating out less, buying fewer show tickets, and shopping less. A contracting consumer effect spreads silently but deeply. It's not just Las Vegas. Many tourist areas in other states are also starting to feel the impact. As international and federal tourism sources declined, tourism-dependent markets, small-town restaurants and hotels, simultaneously reported revenue drops and employee layoffs. The mini Vegas phenomenon is spreading across the United States to places where casinos were once symbols of fun and opportunity. When Vegas collapsed, the echo didn't just reverberate across the Nevada desert. It spread throughout America's tourist cities and suburbs, which had once dreamed under the nightlights. And if this domino effect continues to spread, how will the US economy, already fragile and interconnected, be affected? As the Vegas dream falters, will America still hold on to its own? One night, the Las Vegas lights still shone as brightly as if it had never known a crisis. But behind that halo, the numbers are saying the opposite. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, tourism to Nevada has decreased by over 14% compared to pre-pandemic peaks, and the average revenue per hotel room on the Strip fell by nearly 9% in the second quarter of 2025. Those seemingly small numbers are tearing apart the illusion that Vegas is immune to recession. Vegas used to be a place where money flowed like water, but now the tide has turned. Large sums of money are no longer coming from middle-class tourists, but from investment funds and financial corporations that are buying up the very land that once belonged to Vegas workers. Main Street Vegas, once a local's domain, has become a Wall Street playground where everything is reduced to shares, interest rates, and balance sheets. When Wall Street arrives, the heartbeat of Vegas changes. Listed casinos are beginning to restructure for short-term profits, mass layoffs, process automation, and cuts to services that once brought humanity to this city. A maintenance worker who used to work at a resort on the Strip recounted, "I worked here for 17 years, but now I'm being replaced by a shift scheduling app." For them, the change isn't just about technology. It's about feeling erased from their own city. The social consequences spread like cracks in glass. When workers lose their jobs, the already fragile community support system begins to become overloaded. According to a 2025 report by Clark County, the homeless population increased by 12% compared to the previous year, and homeless support centers are currently operating at 130% capacity. Vegas is experiencing a crisis within a crisis. The economy pushed society to the brink, and society's loss of control further caused tourism to collapse. That vortex is consuming itself like a runaway machine. Experts warn, when Vegas is out of balance, it's not just a tragedy for one city, but a reflection of America, a nation overflowing with luxury, yet lacking in humanity. In that pile of ashes, there are still faint rays of light. Some corporations like MGM and Caesars have partnered with local non-profit organizations to sponsor vocational training programs and provide temporary housing for affected workers. A few work-back-home projects provide job seekers with the opportunity to work remotely, learn new skills, or start small businesses. These efforts, though small, are proof that Vegas is still human, not just a casino. When Vegas falls, it takes the whole of America down with it. But the bigger question still remains: can a nation be strong when its heart is rotting? Or perhaps Vegas is just a mirror reflecting the part of America that it doesn't dare to look at directly. And when all values collapse, can magic return to what was once called the City of Dreams? A quiet night, the lights still on the Strip. But inside the gilded buildings, hundreds of thousands of people quietly disappeared from the payroll system. 386,000 jobs, according to a recent report by the US Travel Association 2025, vanished within weeks of major casino corporations' large-scale downsizing. Vegas once prided itself on being a place where everyone has a chance. But that morning, thousands woke up to realize that chance had been shut down. This isn't just a cut, it's a silent purge. No sirens, no official announcements. It was just a series of emails sent at midnight, nameplates taken down, and a new number in the accounting ledger: labor optimization. For those affected, that's how Vegas says goodbye, coldly, without reason. The underlying causes are not just a decline in tourism or lower room rates. Many large corporations, from MGM to Caesars, are shifting their strategies toward automation. From unmanned front desks to AI systems managing betting and serving robots. A 2024 report by Deloitte once predicted that over 45% of service jobs in the casino industry could be replaced by technology within the next 3 years. That number is now becoming a reality faster than anyone imagined. Those who once made up the soul of Vegas, bartenders, housekeepers, security guards, lighting technicians, are now lining up outside the local job center. A 62-year-old man, who was a baccarat supervisor for 3 decades, told local channel KLAS, "I used to teach people how to bet smart. Now I'm betting on my own life." The saying sounds like a joke, but it's a stark truth. In Vegas today, humans are the cards being discarded from the deck. The problem is, when jobs disappear, trust also disappears. Those who once saw Vegas as a place to start over now feel betrayed. They no longer believe that hard work will be rewarded when everything now depends on algorithms. And when the people lose faith, the city loses its soul, leaving only the artificial light of LED billboards. This city was once built on faith. Faith in luck, faith in opportunity, and faith that even if you lost everything today, you could still win it back tomorrow. But now, with workers being replaced, what's left to bet on? Is it possible that America's biggest gamble is no longer a game of chance, but rather a matter of trust? And is that trust gradually being lost? Vegas used to be a place where every dream had a price, and everyone was willing to bet. But now, with hundreds of thousands out of work, trust leaving the table, and cold robots replacing human smiles, we must ask ourselves, what is left of this city to believe in, to love, to live in? If Vegas, a symbol of American prosperity, can collapse in a single night, what does that say about the rest of the country? Are we, the onlookers, also silently betting on a system that no longer has a place for humans? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Can Vegas rise from the ashes, or is this the end of the American dream? If you believe stories like this need to be told, please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the hidden corners behind the bright lights of America today with us. The content in this video is compiled from various public sources, including reports, statistics, and articles from independent organizations. Some details are presented as analyses, observations, or assumptions to illustrate social and economic trends, and are not absolute statements. All cited figures and information reflect the situation at the time of publication and may change over time. The video is not intended to attack, accuse, or assign blame to any individual, business, or organization. The purpose of the content is to provide a multifaceted perspective and stimulate reflection, not to offer investment, financial, or political advice. Viewers should independently verify information before drawing any conclusions or making any decisions.